Well, beyond Western Australia where we are sitting today, there is a huge cost of energy crisis mounting in Australia. Does this speed up the need to move to renewables?
I think it underlines the importance of looking at all energy forms at the moment to be able to make sure that people, consumers, but also businesses, get clean, affordable energy every single day. And that does mean more gas. It does mean a lot more renewables and a lot faster as well.
There is no quick fix to the rising costs that we're seeing here in Australia, but globally. Here in WA we have a domestic reservation policy, and that has helped keep the costs down for local consumers in WA. It looks like the federal government has two options in terms of pricing for the rest of the country. Of course, there's the Australian Domestic Gas Security Mechanism, or imposing export curbs. What's your view on the way it should proceed?
The interruptions that you see both in Australia today and in the rest of the world is that we are underinvesting in energy. And when you do that, you're going to have to live with the consequences when demand continues to grow as we've seen it has post-COVID. And supplies are not catching up with it. It is creating significant tensions and significant volatility. And so what we're seeing at the moment, for example, here in Australia, is when you're having outages in coal-producing plants, that is having a ripple effect into the system, drawing a lot more on gas and therefore beginning to get these prices up. What we need to do is to make sure that we continue, all of us, both from a government perspective, but also a consumer perspective and a producer perspective. We need to continue to look at energy efficiency measures, and we need to continue to look at investing in supply that ensures plentiful energy is around for everyone to use. The spike in energy prices right now is not just a local issue, it is a global issue. And it started also before the tragic invasion of Ukraine. It started because we have been underinvesting in multiple projects around the world.
You mentioned the war in Ukraine, and that has obviously seen a huge spike in energy prices.
Yes.
Globally. Are companies profiteering from that conflict?
Indeed, there are realities today that are seeing higher prices than what we have seen, and therefore higher profits. But what we're trying to make sure is a lot of these profits are reinvested back into new infrastructure, which is what the world needs. If you also look at renewables, we are investing at the moment in solar, we're investing in wind, we're investing in hydrogen, we're investing in all sorts of low carbon and zero carbon energy because you need that to quickly ramp up. This year, for example, in Shell, we will be investing close to $4 to $5 billion in gas, but we will be matching that investment in renewables as well. And so what you see is significant investment in both gas and renewables to be able to make sure that we build up that energy base.
About a week or so ago, Shell had a pretty high-profile resignation from a long-time consultant, Caroline Dennett. She sent a protest email to the CEO as well as other personnel within the company, accusing Shell of doing extreme harms to the environment. How does an accusation like that sit with you?
It disappoints me because I don't think it's fair, nor I think is it true. I think at the end of the day, we've been very clear on our strategy. Our strategy is to be able to continue to provide the energy that the world needs today, while at the same time moving swiftly towards a much more decarbonized energy provision. We've set very clear targets for 2030. We aim to reduce what we call our scope 1 and 2, essentially the emissions from our direct production. We aim to reduce that by around 50% compared to 2016, which is one of the boldest and most ambitious goals out there in the industry. And so we're trying to move at pace. We have already said that roughly a third of our overall spending as a company is going into non-combustible products and low and zero carbon energy, and that's moving to around 50% by 2025. So as a company, we're trying to move, but it's also important to recognize transitions like this are massive. They require everything from new investments to our customers, businesses and consumers to rewire their own demands. It requires new infrastructure. It requires government policy and regulations. And I think the world needs to sort of continue to be supported by all the actions from all these players if we are to move at the pace that we need to move. And so I get hurt when I read something like that, because I do believe that we're trying to do all the right things, and every once in a while we might not get it right, but the intent is to very much deliver on a strategy that is bold, ambitious, and hopefully will be able to contribute to a decarbonised world.
Is there a future where Shell is 100% renewable energy?
I would hope so. That is the destination. The challenge is how quickly can we get there? And there's an urgent need to get there as soon as we can.
Well, Swan, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.